Alright, so we have our app here that we're trying to create. Let's say we want to enter a voting contest. We want to create a voting contest. In order to do that, we need to have entries, and we need to have a promotion form so for those entries to be entered and stored in Shortstack. We can either have those entries created, visible, and stored by only us, or we can make it visible to fans to have fans enter, for example, if we want to hold an essay contest or something like that. So first we need to click promotion widget, and we need to enter and create or use a already created form to store entries. So let's go ahead, click that. Taking its good old time. Okay. Anyway, so you can either use the one that I've already created, for example, a Bruce Larkin contest one, or create a new one. So I'm going to show you how to create a new form. You enter the name. You can just call it voting test. Enter an email address where entries into this form will be emailed to as well. And then you have to fill out a Facebook disclaimer, which takes all responsibility away from Facebook with regards to this entire voting contest, so that they're not responsible for any legal problems. So we would probably enter Willbooks as the name of the entity that will receive the data, and describe a few words how data will be collected. So we could say like to monitor votes and select winners or something like that. Check the box, click OK. And this is where you can choose what options you want to have here. So if obviously, you know, if you're going to tailor this to whatever contest you're trying to run. If you want to have perhaps a reviewer entry contest where people can apply to be reviewers, you would have their name, address, email, all of those things. But for a simple voting contest where we just need, for example, the school's name, the city and state, and why they want the books, and because we're going to be the ones entering that information, then all we need to do is simply have a few fields. We could have, for example, the name field, and we could just enter like the school's name in the first name area. We could have the entry title, right, where we could enter the school's name. I apologize. You would enter the school's name here and the city and state here. Shortstack's a bit weird with its voting display, and I will cover that in a moment. And then we could just have an entry description, which is where you describe in a few words maybe how the school would use the books or something like that. For the photo, you can rename all of these things. So right now it says photo title. It's obviously not a photo title. We could just call it school name. And again, for here, photo description, we could call it why they need books or something like that. Okay. We can save the form. Okay. And then make sure that whenever you create a form, if you're going to be the one entering in the information and not people on Facebook, like fans, make sure you set the visibility to page admins only, so that Facebook fans don't see this. Make sure you set your data mode to live, and that's so that when you make an entry, it automatically saves it and uses it as a real entry for Facebook. If you do not check this, if this is unchecked, that means that you are testing it, and it's not going to save what you type. Okay, so we have our information here. Now let's create a voting widget, and this is where people will see how to vote for specific schools. So First you select the form database, which is what we just created, which is voting test. So that'll tell Shortstack where to pull entries from. Then you can change entry selection and sorting. There's tons of options for all of this that you can play with. You can sort your entries by votes or randomly or newest to oldest. If you're going to do, let's say you want to list schools in alphabetical order, you're going to want to click newest to oldest, and you're going to want to enter them from reverse alphabetical order. So the first one you enter would be like Z, and the last one you enter would be A. And that way, when Shortstack sorts your entries by recency, it will display them from A to Z. So again, if you want to display an alphabetical list, you're going to click newest to oldest, and you're going to enter the schools in reverse alphabetical order. You can change your page settings, how many entries per page you want to display, up to a maximum of 30. You can choose your layout. There's many options here. For example, if you want to put images in your form, you can do that. Traditionally, through our past 2 contests, we've just used this very basic box form, which allows you to put many school entries up on one page, and you can just type in very small blurbs about them. You can hide the vote count if you want. And with the voting setup, you can restrict voting so that Facebook users can only vote once, or once per entry, or once every day, however you want to set it up. I would uncheck this box. This is require verified Facebook accounts. That makes the Facebook users go through an extra hurdle or two to verify that they are real. So you would only check that if you were giving away something of very high value that you want to eliminate almost any possibility of fraud. But again, for most Facebook users, that's very annoying. They have to verify their email and their phone and all kinds of things. So just leave that unchecked. And that should be good. Okay, and we're going to want to set our voting section to fans only so that they can only see the votes once they like the page. Now another thing, this order here is going to show you how it displays on the page. As you can see, if you're a fan, for example, you're going to see liking our page, and then you're going to see an entry. But if you click and drag this to the bottom, then this text box will go beneath the voting entries. So you can change that however you want. Okay, so let's give it a test. Let's enter in something. So we can enter in the school name, make one up, city and state, put them both in the first name field. So we can do Westchester, PA. And why do they need books? Needs books for a library. Okay, then you can click submit. It'll pop up a box here. You can just ignore this box. It's asking you to post it to your wall. You don't need to do that. Then let's refresh the page and see how it looks. Refresh. And there you have it. Right there, there's an entry. Chester Elementary, Westchester, PA, needs books for a library. You can vote and you can share. Your Facebook fans can do the same. And that is how you create a basic voting promotion app. Again, I have a pre-made template for this already set up and a pre-made tab, so if you're going to run more contests like this, you can just install a template that I've already created and just alter the text how you see fit.